battle with the formidable Mr. Bradford and admiring his resilience. His food, always delicious, now tasted even better, imbued with the spirit of hard-won independence. He experimented with new dishes, but always stayed true to his roots, creating a menu that was both innovative and comforting. Vicky flourished at the community clinic. She became an indispensable part of the team, her compassionate care and sharp medical skills making a profound difference in the lives of her patients. She found immense satisfaction in her work, a sense of purpose that transcended any corporate ambition her father might have envisioned for her. She saw the beauty in small victories, the power of human connection, and the resilience of the human spirit. Their apartment above the restaurant became a true home, filled with warmth, laughter, and the quiet comfort of two souls deeply connected. They learned to navigate the nuances of cohabitation, the compromises, the shared joys, the occasional disagreements that were always resolved with honesty and affection. They built a life together, brick by brick, not on the foundation of a traditional marriage certificate, but on the bedrock of mutual respect, unwavering support, and a love that had been tested and refined by adversity. One evening, a year after Janet's wedding, they sat on their small balcony, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple. Jack held Vicky close, her head resting on his shoulder. "You know," Vicky said softly, breaking the comfortable silence, "I used to think that marriage was the only way to prove you loved someone, that it was the ultimate commitment." Jack kissed the top of her head. "And now?" "Now," she said, looking up at him, her eyes shining, "I know that commitment isn't about a piece of paper or a ceremony. It's about choosing each other, every single day. Through the good times and the bad, it's about standing by each other, even when a certain overbearing landlord tries to tear you apart." She chuckled softly. "It's about building a life together, no matter what anyone else thinks." Jack smiled, a deep, contented smile. "I wouldn't have it any other way." He pulled a small, velvet box from his pocket. Vicky's breath hitched.
"Jack?"
He opened the box. Inside, nestled on a bed of satin, was not a diamond ring, but a simple, elegant silver band, engraved with the words, "Always choose you." "Vicky," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "I know you don't want to get married, and I respect that, but I want to make a promise to you. A vow that's just for us. A commitment that means everything, without needing a church or a judge. With this ring, I promise to always choose you, to stand by you, to love you, to support you, and to build a life with you, however unconventional it may be. Will you accept this promise?" Tears welled up in Vicky's eyes, but these were tears of pure joy. It wasn't a proposal of marriage, but it was a proposal of forever, tailored perfectly to their unique love story. "Yes, Jack," she whispered, her voice trembling. 1,000 times. "Yes." He slid the ring onto her finger, a perfect fit. It wasn't a symbol of ownership, but a symbol of choice, of a shared journey. They leaned in, their lips meeting in a tender, heartfelt kiss that sealed their unconventional vow. Their love story wasn't a fairy tale with a traditional ending, but it was their own. It was messy, it was challenging, and it was fiercely, beautifully real. Updates from Terry arrived regularly from Hawaii, filled with tales of island life and her fulfilling work. Janet and Philip, now happily married, often visited, their laughter echoing through the apartment, a testament to enduring friendships. Larry, their former landlord, would occasionally drop by the restaurant, still grumbling, but with a new, softer look in his eyes when he saw Jack and Vicky together. And Mr. Bradford, he remained a presence, a quiet observer of the life his daughter had chosen. He never gave his full blessing, but he never again tried to break them apart. Perhaps, in his own way, he had begun to understand that love, in its purest form, cannot be bought, controlled, or dictated. It simply is, resilient and unwavering, finding its own path, even when that path is far from the one he had always envisioned. Jack and Vicky, together in their little apartment above the bustling restaurant, knew that their journey was far from over. There would be new challenges, new triumphs, and new moments of quiet, profound joy. But they faced it all hand in hand, two souls who had chosen each other, not out of obligation, but out of an unshakable, unconventional love, proving that sometimes the most beautiful forever begins with a simple, heartfelt choice. equals 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 equals. The city hummed beneath their third-story window, a symphony of distant traffic and muted urban life. Janet Wood, usually the epitome of pragmatic, stood with a wistful sigh, her gaze lost somewhere beyond the brick facade of the building across the street. The melody of their shared apartment's jingle, "Come and Knock on Our Door," played softly in her mind, but today it was tinged with a longing that bordered on melancholy. "We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you." Where the kisses are hers, and his. He's confident too. The familiar lyrics, a playful nod to their unconventional living arrangement, felt suddenly hollow. All she could focus on was her kiss, her future, her long-held dream. Jack Tripper, engrossed in the delicate alchemy of a new recipe, sensed the shift in her usually vibrant aura. He paused, whisk in hand, his brow furrowed with concern. "Janet, what's wrong?" She turned, her movements slow, her eyes, typically sparkling with an almost fierce determination, now clouded with a rare sadness. It's Phil." Jack put down his whisk. "Phil, is he okay? Did he finally realize he's marrying the most wonderful woman in the world?" He offered a teasing grin, a habitual attempt to inject levity into any tense situation. Janet managed a weak, almost imperceptible smile. "He knows that, Jack. It's the wedding." She picked at a loose thread on her sweater, her gaze fixed on a point beyond the immediate, on a vision she'd nurtured since childhood. "Why? Because, Jack, that's what I've always dreamed about. A church wedding, with organ music and flower girls, and me, wearing this long, white wedding gown." Her voice was a fragile whisper, painting a vivid picture of a cherished fantasy. The words hung in the air, heavy with a weight of unfulfilled expectation. Jack's smile faltered. He knew Janet. He understood the meticulous detail with which she planned her life, the deep-seated reverence she held for tradition, especially when it came to something as monumental as marriage. This wasn't just a ceremony, it was the sacred culmination of a lifetime of hope. "And Phil doesn't want that?" Jack asked, his voice softening with genuine concern. Janet shook her head, a single tear, tracing a path down her cheek, leaving a faint shimmering trail on her skin. "Well, he found out it would take months to reserve the church, and he doesn't want to wait that long." She sniffled, the injustice of it all settling heavily upon her. That little devil. Seriously. The words were an attempt at light-hearted exasperation, but the underlying pain was unmistakable. Jack felt a surge of protectiveness for his friend. Phil, for all his charms and genuine affection for Janet, could be impulsively pragmatic to a fault. To deny Janet her dream, however, he moved closer, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Look, Janet, is a church wedding that important to you?" Her head snapped up, her eyes wide with disbelief, as if he had questioned the very sun rising in the east. "Important, Jack. I've waited so long for this. Longer than most." The implication hung heavy in the air. The years of navigating the chaotic dating scene, the long search for the right partner. This was not merely a preference. It was the embodiment of a lifelong yearning. Jack's brow furrowed, his mind searching for a way to ease her distress. He had to appeal to her logical side, the side that, beneath the romantic veneer, governed her most sensible decisions. "Janet, let me ask you something." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "Do you really love Philip?" "Of course, I love him," she exclaimed, a flash of her usual fire returning, fueled by indignation at the very question. "How could you even ask that?" "Then what difference does it make where you get married?" Jack pressed gently, his voice resonating with a quiet truth. "You're lucky enough to find someone you love. The important thing is that you're together, isn't it?" Janet looked away, her gaze drifting to the bustling street below, a subtle tremor running through her. "Yes, but, Jack, Terry, well, it just doesn't feel right getting married by some clerk in City Hall." The words were laced with a quiet desperation, a fear of her sacred moment being reduced to a bureaucratic transaction, devoid of the spiritual significance she craved. "It doesn't have to be City Hall," Jack said, a spark of an idea igniting in his eyes. He glanced around their familiar apartment, the space that had witnessed so many of their triumphs and tribulations. So many shared meals and whispered confidences. This was their sanctuary, their home. That's right.